us.
My pleasure.
And congratulations to you once again. Let me give you the ambience at the Vatican right now. And it's all joy, not only for the Catholic community, but everyone across the world watching how things are playing out at the Vatican. If you're just joining us here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale, we're live on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. Robert Francis Prevost has been elected as the Pope for the Catholic Church worldwide with the name Pope Leo XIV. Pope Leo XIV. There's a history to this, and as our resource person, Reverend Father Michael Kweko, just indicated, all popes, when elected, they have the liberty of choosing the name they want to be known by while they serve as the lead servant for the Catholic Church. So Pope Leo is the 14th Pope to be known by the name Leo. So we know that's why it's called Pope Leo XIV. A bit of history to the popes, the 13 other popes who took the name Leo, going back as far back as 1461. Pope Leo I, also known as Leo the Great, was Bishop of Rome from 29 September 440 until his death. He is the first of the three popes listed in the Annuario Pontificio with the title the Great, alongside Popes Gregory I and Nicholas I. Pope Leo I was a Roman aristocrat. He is perhaps best known for his many writings and influence as far back as 1452, and persuading him to take back from his invasion of Italy, and many others that he influenced in terms of not just leading the Catholic Church, but also contributing to governance and essentially peace and development within his era. There are many writings that also point to how, during his period as Pope, he led the growth of the Catholic Church worldwide. It stands to reason why this particular name has also been chosen by the new Pope, or the Pope-elect, Robert Francis Prevost. And a brief history before we bring in our next guest on this. This is very important, and it's also one that has to be underscored, that here in Ghana, we followed the process quite closely for good reason, even as much as many were expecting that at least an African Pope would be named. But then again, that hurdle or that bridge has been crossed. Now all Catholics across the world are coming together in unity to support the newly elected Pope. Now, U.S. Cardinal Robert Prevost elected the new leader of the Roman Catholic Church, taking the name Pope Leo XIV after serving as missionary and archbishop in Peru. The newly elected Pope presided over one of the most revolutionary reforms of Pope Francis's pontificate, adding 3 women to the voting bloc that decides which bishop nominations to forward to the Pope. So that's one of the groundbreaking revolutionary reforms that the late Pope Francis will be remembered for, adding 3 women to the voting bloc that decides which bishop nominations to forward to the Pope. In fact, from what we're reading now, the late Pope Francis brought this Pope-elect right now, Robert Francis Prevost, Pope Leo XIV, 69 years of age, to the Vatican in 2023 to serve as the powerful head of the office that vets bishop nominations from around the world, one of the most important jobs in the Catholic Church. As a result, the newly elected Pope enjoyed a provenance going into the conclave that few other cardinals had. And this is why I bring in our next guest, the Most Reverend Osei-Bonsu, immediate past president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, currently the Catholic Bishop of the Konongo Diocese in the Ashanti region. Most Reverend Osei-Bonsu, thank you for joining us here on Hot Edition.
Thank you. Let me make 2 corrections. I'm not the immediate past president. There was one after me, a Bishop Name, and the Bishop Jensen now. And then, regards to the diocese, what did you say?
The Konongo
It's Konongo Mampon Diocese.
Konongo Mampon Diocese.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Most Reverend Osei-Bonsu, past president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference and Catholic Bishop of the Konongo Mampong Diocese.
Emeritus Bishop.
Emeritus Bishop.
Konongo Mampong.
I thank you so much. And congratulations to you and to the Catholic Church in Ghana and beyond is in order at a time like this, is it not?
Okay, thank you.
First off, hearing the election of the new Pope, the first from the United States of America, how does all of this strike you from what you do know, leading the Catholic Church in this, the Catholic Bishops Conference in this country, and how the global affairs also influences this particular development today?
Yeah. You know, the Pope is there for all Catholics, all the 1.4 billion Catholics. And so when the Pope is elected, naturally, we are all excited. He's somebody that most people may not know. But he was in charge of the dicastery where they appointed bishops for Europe and America. In Africa, I have a different dicastery. And so many of the bishops who were there would have known him because he would have processed their papers and so on. And so, but whoever is appointed, the main thing is that he does his work well.
And you talked about he being known because of the office he occupied, that which has been described as the powerful head of the office that vets bishops' nominations from around the world.
Yes.
One of the most important jobs in the Catholic Church, is it not?
Yes. So many of the bishops from Europe and America, he would have processed the papers, so they will certainly know of him. And there's a different dicastery, as I said, for Africa and Asia. But so they would have known him, so it would have been known to many of the cardinal electors.
Now, well, there are some writings that describe one strike against him being his nationality, and there has long been some conversation about a U.S. Pope giving the geopolitical power already wielded by the United States in the secular sphere. How does that play out in things now?
No, for me, that is not a big issue because if you are Pope, you are not Pope for the U.S. You are Pope for the whole church. And of course, you wouldn't even be residing in America. You'll be in Rome. So for me, that is not an issue. It's what we do as Pope. Your relations with people, and so that's what is important. But being an American doesn't mean, even America is a powerful country, that's not going to influence anything.
But at least based on this office he occupied before today, you would say he enjoyed some prominence going into the conclave that few other cardinals had, is it not?
Yes, that one I would admit, yes. Yes.
And
so you'd have been known by most of the cardinals from Europe and America.
And could have in any way influenced at least some favor for him?
I'm sure it did. If you are going to have an election, there are so many candidates, and there's somebody you know. The tendency is that you will vote for him rather than somebody that you don't know at all. So I think that certainly would have played a part.
And the late Pope Francis was, from the beginning, in fact, even before he was elected Pope, was quite clear of his papacy about how he wanted to lead the church. And knowing Pope Leo XIV in his previous capacity, would you say that from where you sit, you have some pointers as to the direction and the vision he's going to lead the church?
Yes, I think so. From his choice of name, he has chosen the name Leo XIV, which means that he's looking back at his predecessor, Leo XIII. And Leo XIII was the Pope he came out with an encyclical, Rerum Novarum, 1891, and that addressed the rights and conditions of workers, private property, socialism, and responsibilities of employers and governments. And so I'm sure that by choosing that name, you'll be following that path. Okay, so you will think about workers and private property and all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
I see. But and also for us here in Ghana, what would be, for the lack of better expression, expectations of the new Pope going forward?
Well, I think we look up to a Pope who is firm on doctrine, but then also reaches out to those on the margins, those on the peripheries, like Pope Francis used to say. And so, we can be said to be on the peripheries, and so we expect that he will look out for countries like that, Ghana and other poor countries in the world.
And do you expect that, and this is if there's any history to a continuity in the vision of previous popes, so that the newly elected Pope Leo XIV would also continue on the path of some of the very meaningful, far-reaching interventions of the late Pope? Is it one to expect? Is there any history of the predecessor also having his successor continue the vision that he started?
Not always. Certain things are basic, and so he would do them. But by the choice of the name that he has adopted, that tells you that you'll be in the line of the 13 that I've said. So be concerned about workers, and those who are marginalized, and so on. Well, very much like Pope Francis, he spoke about people on the periphery. So I think it will be something similar. But I think his main interest will be on the 13, what he did for workers in his day.
Emeritus, thank you so much for your thoughts on this, and I wish you well, and congratulations to you and the entire Catholic Church. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And have a good one. So there you have it, a lot more. Emeritus Professor Osei-Bonsu, immediate past, in fact, he is, I beg your pardon, the past president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference and currently the Catholic Bishop of the Konongo Mampong Diocese in the Ashanti region. What you're hearing is a joy in the Vatican.